Welcome to Dad Crossing's Dad Life episode. In this episode, we are going to be talking about different types of parenting, specifically type A, B, and wait, what? C? That's right. We're going to be talking about three different types of parenting. This article caught my eye earlier this week about type C parenting and how people were talking about it. So I looked into it, and we decided we would have a little chat ski about it. So I don't know, Sean, what type do you think you are? We should probably kind of go over the types, eh?
Yeah, that would be a good start as to the things, because I genuinely believe I am a blend of the two types. But then at the same time, I can be leaning more into one than the other. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Type A. Highly structured and organized, driven by achievement and perfection, emphasizing stuff like clean homes, consistent routines, strict screen time, and educational outcomes. It says, think we have color-coded calendar and everyone is 5 minutes early. Okay. Type B. More laid back and go with the flow, encourages creativity, self-expression, unstructured play. Mess is okay, rules are flexible, and kids are trusted to figure things out. Which is actually another episode I almost thought about, the FAFO thing, which F around and find out kind of parenting. I've read a couple things about that as well. So it's definitely that it definitely falls in type B. May sometimes veer into being a little too permissive. Think we're all just doing our best. Now let's finger paint on the walls. I really like that one.
Yeah.
That one's good. All right.
So I am more type A than I am type B, but Lindsay is more type B than she is type A, which then goes to the realm of we are both probably type C. We take the flexibility of type B with the structure of type A for a lot of things.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think type C has been around for a long time. It's just like social media found a new way to, like, air quote, market it kind of, or describe it, coin it.
Well, I don't think it's a case of everybody likes to categorize something. Everything has to have a name.
Yeah.
So I think that's all they've done is they've just slapped a name on it. Where most people have been like, I'm the mix of two different styles. I mean, I don't know which one I am.
Yeah, all these have their pros and their cons. And I think type C is trying to pick out the pros from all of those and do the best you can. So here's a great example for me. Time is a type A for me. I am hot type A. I am as type A. I stand on top of the flagpole. I am wrapped in the type A flag, okay, when it comes to time. For sure. Like, if you like,
if there was a type A Olympics, you would be there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like, if you could, like, tally mark the arguments that me and Becca have had throughout our marriage, there'd be many. And if you bucketed them in everything and time management, I swear, like, at least half of them are time management. So, so I am trying really hard to not be entirely type A when it comes to time. So, like, when the kids go to school, the doors open at 7:40. They don't have to be there at 7:40, especially if they've elected to not eat breakfast at the school. They can be there at 7:55. It's not that big of a deal. But 7:40 they open, so in my mind, it's like you're going to get there at 7:40 because that's the deal, which means I'm going to tell you to get around by 7:15 and you're going to be in the car by 7:25 because it takes us 15 minutes, and then it's 7:40 and I drop you off. That's how it works. So I'm trying really hard to not do that, to be like, hey, it's 7:30 and you guys ate breakfast here. It's not that big of a deal. You'll get there. It'll be fine. But
so the thing is, there's a really good way of doing that, because I used to be exactly the same. Like, I used to, like, when it was more when Logan was at nursery started at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So he would be there for 9. Then as we got to school, like, school changed the times more often than anything else for when he can get there. So it used to be like the gates opened at 9 and the closed at 10 past night. So you had like a 10-minute window for the kid to be there, sort of thing. Now that's changed. The gates open at 8:40 and they close at like 8:55. So you have like this 15-minute window where they can be dropped off. And I'm kind of like, if we leave anywhere between 25 past and 25 to, we can be there for 20 to 10 to. Mm-hmm. So we have a window of time to leave. So there's a bit of flexibility. Otherwise, I end up like barking. And it's like it sets you up for a bad day. And an upset child because they've been shouted at. So I have a window of time that he needs to be there. And that's how I've made it. So
yeah, and that's
the type. Fair. That's type A kind of getting on with type B.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're 100% right. Now here, for me at least, is a type B moment. Clothing. I don't give a crap. As long as it's not ripped and you're wearing something and it covers all your parts and it's appropriate for the season, have a nice day. Wear whatever the hey you want, okay? Becca's like, hey, no, those two things clash like nobody's business. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care at all. It doesn't matter to me. I'm like super type B when it comes to clothing. And Becca, I don't know if she's super type A, but she's definitely like, no, the clothing has to be like this and they have to match. And I'm going to lay them out for you and you're going to do your thing. And so it's just, that's my definite type B. I just don't care. I have no, like, I don't care.
See, my worst type A is like the house being clean. Like I cannot. I despise. Like I don't like clutter and things being collected. Mm-hmm. I'll do a video tour of the house one day just to show this. But wherever there is a surface in this house, there is something on it. So I look to my left, and Lindsay's bookshelf is full of books, and an Elmo teddy, and a picture of Logan, and candles, and an Alexa, and a figure of two people, a Highland cow. It's got notebooks, general reading books, uni books, and then a box with something which I can only say is probably some form of nail glue on there. And then, like, to my right, there's more stuff. There's stuff in each windowsill. Lindsay's granddad is in this windowsill to my left. Just to emphasize, he's in an urn. He's not just stood in the window, just waving at everybody. Hello, good day.
It was either going to go one of two ways. Yeah. You were either going to say that he was just like standing there waving, or you had had him taxidermied or something awful like that.
Yeah, you just hey, Rick, how you doing? But yeah, there's everywhere in this house where there is a flat surface, there is usually something dumped, and that bugs the crap out of me. So now I have combated that by building Lego sets and having Lego outlets. So now I have things that I like. So there's a Yoshi teddy on one of the shelves over there. The F1 cars that I've been collecting and building are currently in front of the TV. And my piranha plant one's at the end of the hallway. So it's kind of like, because they're my things, I'm okay with it. And then because my things are out, I'm okay with other things being out. But I'm still very much like, I like the house to be clean and tidy, because you never know when someone's going to come around. And it's like, as they always say in the UK, be prepared for the queen to land at any time. So,
yeah, no, see, I am that way when I know there's going to be people coming over. And then I'm kind of like, and I will go in spurts sometimes too. I'll be like, oh my gosh, like a straw, that breaks camel's back. Like something will happen. I'll be like, okay, this is just ridiculous. And so then there's a chair in the living room. It used to be a rocking chair. Now it's actually a chair that looks like a black cat that Becca got for her birthday. And so I just throw everything on it. And I'll be like, when the kids come home, I'll be like, clean the chair, so that they know everything has to go away. And then inevitably, Ariel will try to put something from the chair onto just like the counter that I probably just took it off of. And I'm like, no, that is not putting it up. That's putting it back where it wasn't supposed to be, where I found it before. I have to squirrel one moment, because I've told you that my aunt likes cows as well. specifically Highland cows.
Yep.
Becca found, I thought of you. I meant to text you a picture of it and I forgot. Becca found like like a soft, it's like one of those things that has beans in it that you can throw in the freezer or the microwave, one or the other.
Yeah.
And it is like the face of a Highland cow. That's what we gave Mona for Mother's Day. That's what it was. So, she told me she had got a cow thing, and I didn't really think about what kind it was, and then she pulled it out, and I was like, oh, it's a Highland. I was like, oh, Lindsay would love that.
It's a Highland cow.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my story.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say, and this is going back to the episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Week about your inner critic,
mm-hmm.
and like the level of stress and stuff I was in like last year. I was more type A back then because I was just hyper focused on everything needing to be right all the time,
mm-hmm.
and then I would stress out when it wasn't. Than I am now. Now I'm more like I am more like type B, and I like that because I think it's good to have the mixture of both. It's good to have the regimented thing for routine, like okay, on a weekday, your screen time is all devices need to be gone by 7 p.m. and then after 7 p.m. do whatever the hell you want. As long as it's not staring at a screen. So if you want to draw, go draw. If you want to go out in the garden, if it's still light and warm enough, go out in the garden. If you want to get your toys out and play toys, go do that. If you want to read. Anything you can do, anything you want, as long as it doesn't involve a screen. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the biggest structure we have. And then bedtime, is the set time. Because obviously kids need the sleep. Otherwise they end up like zombies the next day at school and they don't focus.
Yeah, and I think, I think type C, for me, when I look at these, I think type C is kind of where, and I don't know if I described type C. I don't think I did. But type C is what they call the new wave. Tries to keep routines, but lets go of perfection, prioritizes emotional connection and flexibility over control, practical, forgiving, realistic. I think all they're really doing is talking about the thing that parents should, in my opinion, strive for, right? Like, you need rules. Yeah, for sure you do. But there are times where they just don't make sense. Like they just don't work. And it's so you have to find or maybe it was just a really crappy day. I mean, I know that Noah loves the Switch, right? Like that's his... video games are kind of like his place. And we're really going to work this year to make sure that the kids are outside. We're putting up some cameras around the house so that we can kind of feel like we have better control when they're out there and we're not out there, so that we can kind of just let them do their thing. Okay. And I know that the Switch is Noah's thing. Like that's kind of his place to decompress. I totally get that. Happens to be mine.
Shock.
And so if he comes home and I know that his day was crap, then forcing him to go outside probably is not what he needs, right? Like that's not going to be the best thing for his mental health. And I think that's kind of the thing you're fighting here. But you're also fighting your personality to get there, right?
Yep.
And that's the other thing. Like you got to let go of your thing and really look at what that is and be like, does that matter? Does it really matter? I know you think it matters. You've told yourself this is gold. This gives you that gold star if they do this thing. But does it really matter?
Yeah. Just made me laughing that when you're saying, cameras up so you can feel more relaxed inside. Well, if they're outside, sort of thing, so you can keep you can see if anything happens. Logan's now got an electric scooter.
Mm-hmm.
It's an e-scooter. It's capable of doing 10 miles an hour in sport mode. The only mode he uses is sport mode. So, watching your 7-year-old son go from 0 to 10 miles an hour in the click of a fingers on a scooter is terrifying. And it just put me on edge, and I was like, but he's wearing a helmet. Yeah. If he falls off, he falls off. If he breaks something, he breaks something. That's part of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hurt, it's going to suck, but yeah, whatever. He came home the other day on Fridays, and I think I was what was I doing? I was in the kitchen. I was doing something, and he goes, "Can I get my helmet?" And I was like, "I thought you already had your helmet because you was out on your scooter." He said, "No, I put my scooter and my helmet away because I was doing something else, but I need my helmet." I was like, "Well, what do you need your helmet for? What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, my friend Albie's got a quad bike and there's a seat on the back. I want to go and ride on it." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh my gosh, no way.
But
There's no way. I'd have to trust Albie. I don't know who Albie is, but I'd have to have good trust in Albie to make that happen.
I've seen the quad bike today. It's only a small electric quad bike.
Oh, okay.
And it's not capable of going too fast.
Okay.
But I was like, I looked at him and I was like, I'm not even going to argue this because he's living his best boy life.
Yes, that's for sure.
You go for it. Just the part thing I said to him was, hold on to Albie. Just put your arms around Albie. Wear your helmet, put your arms around Albie, you'll be fine. And he came out, he was fine. He enjoyed it, big smile on his face.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. At least he did come home for the helmet. I mean, that's the win there if you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Like, man, and he didn't have to come home.
No, and it's a rule. I mean, we went back to a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about recreational sports and safety. When he was at the skate park, it was hard to get him the idea of him wearing a helmet into him. But now it's like it's become part and parcel. So he knows if he's on. Well, he turned his electric scooter on. And it says, "Remember, please wear a helmet when riding." But I think that's kind of come into him now that if he's going on something that's capable of going at speed, he needs to be wearing a helmet. So
yeah. And so, like with Noah, I'm moving from the type A to the type B, right? When it comes to rules, certain rules, right? So, like, I told him, I was like, "Hey, Noah, we're getting dressed. We're getting around for Ariel's soccer game. It's an open field. He knows. He's been to it many times." I'm like, "Noah, it's 55 degrees and there's a 20-mile-an-hour wind. So, just think about what you want to wear, maybe." And he was like, "Oh, I don't think it'll be that cold." I was like, "Cool, man. You do you. I'm personally wearing pants and a jacket. You do you." He went in a t-shirt and shorts, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is really cold. I'm really cold." I was like, "Buddy, I told you, 55 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour wind." I was like, you knew it was going to be. So I don't really have. Now, Mom had sympathy and gave him a blanket. I wouldn't have given him a blanket. I would have been like, "Nah, we told you. You did a thing."
Yeah.
But yeah. So
the thing is, Emily was exactly the same. Today, was it today? Was it yesterday? Yeah, today. She went to the skate park with her friend Florence, and she went in a big pair of jeans, a black t-shirt, and a hoodie. And I was like, I looked at her as she was leaving. I was like, "You're going to be really warm." And she's like, No, I'm not. In the 30 seconds it took her to get the scooter out of the garage, she'd already taken a jumper off and tied it around her waist. I was like, told you.
Yep. Yeah, so a lot of things like with Noah, we're starting to relax. And I think that's what you got to do with everything. You got to really like start with type A and then you got to kind of lean more type B. Because if you stay in type A with rules and even routines, and then, then your child's never going to figure out how to be an adult when that time comes, I mean.
Yeah, the effort around and find out parenting comes with type B. Yeah. Massively comes with that.
Yeah.
So and doing the switch is you've given them the guidance and the rules to understand there is a point where things need to be right, and there's like getting to places on time, like school, important places like that is a good thing to have. It's a good personality trait to be punctual because people enjoy that. But then, at the same time, relaxing on other things like, we've got chores to do, but it doesn't really matter if we get them all done because there's always tomorrow kind of thing. They're not massively important. We don't need to do all the washing or anything today.
Yeah.
It can be done another day. That kind of thing is pretty good.
Yeah. And that's actually a thing that for me, I had to come to I had to come to a realization. So this probably happened a year or two ago. I realized that when I asked the kids to do something, I wanted them to do it like now. Like if Ariel has silverware to put up, Noah has water bottles to fill after I pull them out of the dishwasher. That's kind of their tasks. We have these water bottles they take every day to school. We have like I don't know, 14 of them that we put in the fridge, and then they're just going to use them and blah, blah. Anyways, if I said fill them, I wanted them filled like now. And it hit me that if the kids asked me to do something, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to get there. I'll get that done. Don't worry. And I was like, well, that's really neat. The task they're asking me to do doesn't I knew wasn't the end of the world. So I was like, I'll get to it. Don't worry. But the task I'm asking them to do really isn't the end of the world, right? So I really had to readjust my mind in that of I just wanted them to do what I told them to do right away, and that really wasn't fair. They might not have been in the mindset. They may have been doing something else. They may have been wanting to do something else. So now when I pull that stuff out and I get everything set up, I'll tell them, hey, you got water bottles, you got silverware. I expect it done, by the end of the day. And I'll usually give them by the end of the day, and then if they don't get it done the next morning, I'll be like, "You're doing it now because I gave you all day long and you never got it done. So now you're doing it." And so yeah, that was a change I had to make, where it's just kind of my type. I had type A expectations for them, but I lived in a type B world for me when it came to those same things, right? And so it was like, well, that's not fair.
See, I've gone to the. It's almost passive aggressive, style parenting. They'll do something, or I'll ask them to do something. I'll be like, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And they'll go, "Oh yeah, that's fine." And so like, "Okay, cool." And then I'll walk away, and Emily's worse for it. Logan's bad for it with his iPad. He'll try and carry something while still holding onto his iPad. He was doing something today, and he struggling with his iPad, so he just put his iPad the arm of his case around his iPad in his mouth, so we could do this thing. And I was like, "Why don't you just put your iPad down? It'd be so much easier." And then walked off, and he saw this light switch go, and he just kind of put his iPad down. And it was like, "Oh yeah,
look at that."
I've gone to passive aggressive comments about things.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask them to do something, and then if it looks like they're struggling, I won't then say, "Oh, let me help you by doing this." I'll just I will drop a comment and say, "It'd be so much easier if you did it like that." And I walk off and just watch them look at the task they're doing. We'll think of the comment I made and go, "Oh, what a dickhead, he's right." And just carry on with it. So, but that's come with time. Yeah. So, and it was really weird for me. I missed a period of parenting, because when I met Lindsay, Jay was 8 and Emily was 2. So I had to very quickly learn how to be a parental figure for an 8-year-old without having all the the previous 6 years of watching that 8-year-old transition. So it was a steep learning curve of trying not to upset this 8-year-old, because I'm this new person and new energy in our life kind of thing. So there was a lot of learning there, and then obviously 10 years after that, Jay is 18 and she's off away to university. He kind of gone through all the teenage stuff. So now I've got Emily starting into the teenage thing. So it's kind of, I've learned from previous parenting to how I'm going to parent this teenager, and I'll probably learn from this teenager how to parent Logan when he hits the same age. So fun and games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can't. I say I can't wait, but I feel like at some level, we're not really there. We're not there because he's only 11, but I feel like we're close to there.
On the verge.
Yeah, on the verge. Yeah, it's just the way he acts and he does stuff, and he's just and all that jazz. Now I just feel we're right on the edge of all those of all that stuff. So I would say if going back to the whole thing, I really shoot for type C. I'm not obviously perfect at it. I've learned a lot of my type A or my type A tendencies from parenting, for sure, that I never really even knew that I had. But the ability to just be like, okay, well, I guess we're going to clean that up now, and it's just they do something wrong or something like that, instead of freaking out, to be like, well, I guess we're going to clean that up. And Noah broke her glasses the other day. She didn't mean to. She totally yeah, she was playing soccer and she got hit and they fell off her face and then she stepped on them and she was all freaked out. She was like, she was like coming up all like nervous. And I was like, what's up? She was like, I broke my glasses. I was like, oh. I was like, well, that's a bummer. She was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. And I was like, well, I don't think you did. I was like, you're playing soccer. Like, it happens.
Yeah,
like, I guess we'll just have to get you an eye appointment, which really is no big deal. We were all due. It could actually, the only blessing is that I was supposed to get it done in April because that was technically a year. So I was going to have everybody go in April and get an eye appointment and get new glasses because I need new glasses because I got spray foam on one lens that like left a mark. So I was like, okay, me and Ariel, and we'll see if no one needs glasses because we assume both parents wear some type of corrective at some point. Noah's bound to join the club, but so far he has not needed them. So I'm just glad I waited. It all worked out. It was meant to be. Otherwise,
I've got a really good thing for anybody listening and for you. You want to know what kind of parent you are, type A, type B, or type C. Go stand at the foot of your bed and look at your bedside tables. So split your room directly in half down the middle of the bed from your side to the wife's side. Tell me what your side looks like compared to what your wife's looks like. I mean, if you listen to this and you want to go to our Twitter page and send us like a picture, I mean, obviously ensure that it's, you get permission from the other parent that's involved in this. But I can stand at the end of our bed and look at the two sides of the room. And this is how I know the difference between type A and type B in terms of cleanliness and stuff. My side of the bed, I have a lamp, a charging stand for my watch and phone, and a book. And the book is normally just used to cover the charging light on the back of the charging stand because it does my head in on and out because it's bright. And that's it. Nothing else. Lindsay's is usually 3 or 4 books on the bedside table, some kind of candle, the charging stand, some kind of hair thing, and then there's the wardrobe and all the blankets that are just chucked on the floor. And so, yeah, that's how I know the difference between us. Lindsay is very much more of the type B, relaxed, mess is mess kind of things are lived in, where I'm more like showroom finish. Don't move that because that's where it belongs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I would say Becca's moved me throughout the years because I had like this modern minimalist like thing in my apartment. I would say I've kind of moved back a little bit, but she's moved me too, where I'm just kind of like, and the kids really, just like at some point
you can't have that kind of thing with children.
Never
doesn't work.
I don't even care anymore. Whatever, you win, you little brats.
I can remember like I'd once like touched up all the paint in the kitchen and stuff like that just before we had like we were moving on to weaning Logan to different foods. And so like we'd give him a load of grapes and cut them all in half, as you do. As a parent, always cut your grapes in half because you don't want your child to choke to death. Mm-hmm. And he was eating them away, but he was like smushing some of them as well and smushing them into the plate. And then, as all kids do, he did the whole bang with his hands on the thing, and all these like smushed up grapes that were on the plate flipped off the plate and stuck to the ceiling.
Wow, you really hit that hard. My goodness.
Yeah, I can sat there and like looked at the ceiling to all these grapes stuck to the ceiling. And I was like, great. So I like got some wet wipes and I started peeling them all off, but they'd left some marks. And like I was like, I'd literally painted this kitchen ceiling like 6 weeks ago. Those marks were still there until we changed the color of the kitchen. So, that was can't be a type A with a child. Got to be type B.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta like if you're a type A person, don't you think like you can't have kids? So I mean, I'll say that. Like, but
yeah,
be prepared. You're gonna learn some flexibility in some way for sure. Like it won't go entirely how you're used to it going, and that's a fact. But if you are a type A person, then you're going to instill a lot of the benefits of your personality to your child. And there's a lot there, right? I mean, like we just went over some, like cleanliness,
Yeah.
consistent routines, achievement, perfectionism, like anything. Those things can go too far, and then they're no longer helpful. They're hurtful. And that's the same way with type B. Whatever your personality is, your child is going to mold you a little bit to change, and maybe that's what it is. You all just kind of end up closer to type C by the time you're done with kids.
Yeah. And it's a good learning curve, and that's the thing, is that kids do change you. It's a great learning curve to find out who you truly are, because you can try and push for the type A, everything clean, tidy, perfect, routine of everything. You can push for that as much as you want and say that you're that person. But as soon as you have kids, there has to be, like you said, there has to be that flexibility of, you're going to have broken sleep. So you are going to be less inclined to make sure that, all the washing's done and everything's like neat and tidy. And, people walk into your house and they're like, oh, wow, this is really spotless. And, it's just not going to happen. Throw pets into the mix as well. It's just, it's crazy, but it's something you chose to be a parent, in most cases. And at the same time, you accept those things might change, but also at the same time, you're bringing another life into the world. You're teaching somebody how to be a person as well. And do you want them to grow up and think that I can, I'll reference a Blink-182 song. If you can't knock a cup of apple juice over in the hall, if they can't do that without you shouting at them and them being worried and being nervous, it's one of those things. Like with Ariel, being nervous about breaking a glass, so she understands that they're an expensive thing and that it's as much as it was an accident, she was worried that how you respond to them being broken, how nice it must have been for her to come up to you and you'd be like, you're playing soccer. It happens. It's it's an unfortunate mistake, but nothing we can't sort out and figure out later on. So
yeah. And if you're type A and you don't like cut loose, can I tell you the funnest trick? Like the funnest thing that I do. Pick something that your kids would never think. Something small. I can give you one. And I mean, we goof around and dance quite a bit, but like not like this. And so I was walking down the hall, and our kids, because our kids are hilarious, had on repeat the fart song. You ever heard the fart song from our great digital assistant? Yeah. Well, if you ask your wonderful digital assistant to play the fart song for you, then you'll know. Okay. Anyways, it's like just a tune made by a bunch of like digital fart noises, basically, and the kids think it's like the funniest thing. And so I'm walking. They had the door. They were both in Ariel's room. They had the door closed, like not shut all the way, but just closed. And so I pushed the door open, and they're all like giggling, and then they stop and they look at me while the song's playing, and they're like trying to figure out what's about to happen. Like, am I about to be like, shut this off? This is ridiculous, or blah, 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 And then I turn my butt at them, and I just start to shake my butt to the fart sounds. And they thought it was like the most hilarious thing, because it's like something I like have never done and wouldn't do. Like, just find that random thing. Your kids will find it the most hilarious thing. I mean, until they're like, 13, 14. Then they'll be like, why? That's please leave me alone.
Emily spends her entire time here trying to sneak up on me and making me jump.
I love it.
Constantly. And she's got me once, and I had my headphones on and I was cleaning the kitchen. She got me. And like, I went, Aah! She was so happy that but she continues to try.
I don't think Becca will anymore. She found out that my reflex is not to scream, it's to hit. So I didn't like hurt her or anything, but I pulled up just in time. I opened the door because normally she tries and it's always funny. Like, she'll like be trying to sneak around the couch or something, and I'm like, Beck, I can hear you, and I can kind of see your butt in the air. And she's like, what? I was just trying, and so it's always just makes me laugh. But she got me when I came into the house. It was just probably a month ago. It was probably the first time she ever really got me. And she was sitting behind the back door, and I shut it, and she's like, and she didn't even say anything, and I just looked, I was like, ah, and I put my fist out, and I was like, oh, okay, sorry, that's you. And I was about to just like face palm you, or like palm you right in the face. And so yeah, that was. She was like, I don't know if I'll do that again.
No, it's just funny. It's funny that it's like Logan and Lindsay have this routine at bedtime where they have bedtime butt slaps, where like they'll run around and chase each other in the bedroom and try and slap each other's butts, or they'll have a bedtime dance off. So like she'll play NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye" because he's currently obsessed with that because of one of the Fortnite emotes.
Okay,
and like he can do the dance really, really well. So like they'll have a dance off in the bedroom and stuff. What else is there? Oh, there's the high five thing with Emily. Like she'll go to give me a high five, and as we go to she goes to give me a high five, I'll turn it into a fist and fist bump her high five. So like she tries to beat me into doing it, and then as like her high five turns to a fist, I put my hand up to do a high five, and I high five her fist bump. There's just lots of little things, and that's what you've got to do with kids. It's like you say, you've got to be a friend to them, because at the end of the day, you want them to be able to come up and tell you anything and discuss things with you when life does get heavy and hard. But at the same time, you are their parents, so there's a level that you've got to be able to enforce things, and it's that being able to switch between the two in a way that they understand that, you know, some days they have balls up big time, but other days, you know, they might have balls up, but it's not a big deal, kind of. And it's a difficult one to do, and it's a fine line to tread, and you are going to get it wrong. But at the end of the day, and like we spoke about again last week with the inner critic, is you know, you can't always strive for the perfection. You've got to, you've got to show them that everybody's human, and you know, learn to understand, and that's all you can do, and explain to them on days where you are type A, because you've got lots of stuff on top of you, and you just need them to do as you've asked to do, that you know you are feeling overwhelmed and under pressure at the same time, but you can equally be type B, and that's where the flexibility comes between the two.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Let us know what you think your type is, or what you think of this whole conversation. Past that, I don't think I got any more. What about you, Sean?
No, I don't. I'd be interested, like I said, for people to go and do the whole bedroom thing. Look at the different sides and figure out what kind of personality you are, because I think that's the biggest test.
That is
most
funny.
people go there and yeah. Yeah, like Nick said, reach out to us. Let us know what kind of parent you are. Give us a funny story if you can. You know, record a short video and send it to us via X or anything like that. You can DM it to us if you don't want it to be, if you want it to be anonymous. You know, and it's always nice to get people reacting to things. So,
for sure.
Yeah. Well, have a good weekend. And. What's this weekend?
Did you just forget what was going on here?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. It's Wednesday. I can't remember. I think in the UK it's a bank holiday next weekend.
Oh, really?
But I'm not sure. Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know. I think it's just a bank holiday in lieu of another bank holiday, because we like to have loads of bank holidays.
Okay. Memorial Day is on the 26th for us. I don't know. Do you guys celebrate Memorial Day?
No, we don't. We have the spring bank holiday, which is the 26th. Okay. So
there you go.
Yeah, never mind. My kids, Logan's off again as of next weekend. So that's what I'll be doing next week. The weekend that you're listening, after you've listened to this, is trying to sleep between night shifts and entertain a child. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Anyway, see you later, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Adios.